שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שיר לאדוני, שיר לאדוני, שיר לאדוני. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. השיבנו אדוני לך ונשובה, ונשובה. השיבנו אדוני לך ונשובה, ונשובה. חדש ימינו, ימינו כקדם. חדש ימינו, ימינו כקדם. השיבנו אדוני לך ונשובה, ונשובה. השיבנו אדוני לך ונשובה, ונשובה.
Shabbat Shalom. Playing baseball in their backyard, a child announced, "I'm the greatest hitter in the world." They tossed the ball into the air, swung hard, and missed. "Strike one," the child yelled. They picked up the ball and said again, "I'm the greatest hitter in the world." Feeling confident this time, the child lobbed the ball, swung, and missed. "Strike two," they yelled. The child examined the bat and then the ball. They spat on their hands, rubbed them together, tugged on their cap, and repeated, "I'm the greatest hitter in the world." Again, the child tossed the ball, swung, and missed. "Strike three." "Wow," the child exclaimed, "I'm the greatest pitcher in the world." This month of Elul, which began on Sunday night, is a time for us to reframe things and to look inward. We use our special prayer books, Mishkan Halev, and if you did not grab one on your way in that are on the carts, it is these gold books. Make sure you grab one. And we use these books to help us explore the special time of year and use the wonderful readings in it that provide us this time of reflection. We are making our Shabbat a little more special tonight by jazzing it up with our musicians, as you'll hear more jazz music for tonight. Whether you're the greatest hitter or the greatest pitcher in the world, the greatest musician, Hebrew reader, or singer in the world, reframe it and just enjoy Shabbat. Join us in welcoming Shabbat as Michael Epstein leads us in lighting our Shabbat candles on page 11. And as he comes forward, I remind you that everyone is required to wear a mask. That means over the mouth and the nose the entire time that you are here.
In the beginning, emptiness and chaos, a great darkness over the deep. The Spirit of God moved over the waters, explosion of light, the long chain of emerging life. Behold, it was very good. These candles evoke the very first light, Out of the darkness came reason, purpose, consciousness of beauty, the power to discern and do what is right. Let us hold the light in our hearts. Let us bring it with us into the darkest corners of creation. Where there is pain and fear, let us offer the light of love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Please join me on page 12 for Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'rotzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahavo v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'masei v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'otanu kiddushta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
L'chaim. We turn now to page 18 in Mishkan Halev, the gold book. Just as a reminder, if you did not get the gold book, it's on the cart in the front. If you guys want to grab a book on your way in, on the cart there, those gold books, perfect. Page 18.
Tov lehodot, tov lehodot, tov lehodot l'Adonai, u'lizamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot, tov lehodot, tov lehodot l'Adonai, u'lizamer l'shimcha elyon. L'agi
We turn now to page 22 for Lechado D. When we reach our 9th verse, that last verse on the page, because this one already has our 1, 2, 5, and 9. We don't even have to try to figure out which number. We read these verses on 22. We sing them together. When we reach that last verse, Boiva Shalom, we rise facing the entrance to our sanctuary, beckoning that Sabbath spirit towards us with our voices and our joy. Turn to those around you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. You don't have to look at your books, but wish people a Shabbat Shalom. Let them know you're glad they're here. We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 24 as we remain standing through Shema.
Yitkarov yitkara Shemir Rabba, Amen. Be'amad yivrach hirtev yamlich mochotev, b'chayechon uvyonechon, uvchayerecho beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, v'imru, Amen. Yehi Shemir Rabba mevorach, le'olam olam me'amaya, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתאמר ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתעלה שמי לקודשה בריחו. לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעמה, ואמרו אמן. So, Ma'ariv Arvim, which is the next prayer, we usually read it, but tonight, because it's jazzy, we're going to sing it, and I'm going to teach you, it's super easy, the chorus, which is, repeat after me, bop, 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 ba-da, 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 ba-da. So here's how it goes. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da, ba-da-ba-ba-da-da, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Wanna try it? You can do it. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da, ba-da-ba-ba-da-da, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. So when it comes back, you have to help me sing that. Let's start from the beginning. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da, ba-da-ba-ba-da-da, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. The light is fading, the night is waiting. For you and me, let's rearrange the stars. The mystery lies in the color of the skies when the words are on your lips that speak the evening into being. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da, ba-da-ba-ba-da-da, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. The sun's gone missing, the moon is whispering my words the name, but I listen close. The arc of its ascension commands my full attention. The sky provides a backdrop of purples and blues. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da, ba-da-ba-ba-da-da, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. The light is fading, the night is waiting. For you and me, let's rearrange the stars.
We join together for Ahavat Olam on page 30. We join together in English. Love beyond all space and time, Your love enfolds your people, Yisrael. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up, and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They are the very essence of our life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, for you are blessed, the one who loves your people, Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Nochoto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Nochoto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
You may be seated.
Please join me in the Hafta on page 34. V'yavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'adecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher nochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot hayadecha v'hayu litotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'isharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לרעיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We continue together at the top of page 41. Crossing the sea. Eternal, watch over my small domain of light and shadow, those few people who share my love and all others upon this earth, that sometimes shakes with thunder and reverberates with lightning. Help us to live with fear and conquer rage, heal the hate that makes us kill and covers the ground with this Red Sea that only you can part. So we may all walk through the wilderness to your realm of peace, where all men and women are one, and sing your blessed name.
Ose כי פרדנה את יעקב, וגאולו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
On page 42, we join together at the bottom for Hashkivenu. Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. With power sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom, and through your wisdom restore us, make us whole. Let your name proclaim your presence in our lives. Be our shield. Make us stronger than the enemies we face, illness and war, famine and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts, wickedness and sin. Carry us to safety as on wings, for you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth to life. Watch over us, that we may come home in peace, now until the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed one, you spread over us a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem. Page 45. Fall of evening, darkness all around us. The 3-year-old wakes up crying, sees monsters in the shadows, and we lie awake for hours, dreading monsters that are real. Eventually you learn there are no charmed lives, no special immunity from suffering and loss. We cannot pray for safety, only for the strength to endure. So let us build a canopy while we can, for the darkness falls on all of us. There is no shelter from the shadows, no protection from the terrors of night, nothing but the warmth of a loving touch. Comforting reminder, you are not alone.
ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. וקורא עונג וקורא עונג. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. מקדשי שבי כולם ישבעו ויתענגו מטובך. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. וקורא עונג וקורא עונג. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. והשביעי רצית בו, רצית בו וקידשתו. חבת ימים אותו קראת, זכר למעשה בראשית. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. וקורא עונג וקורא עונג. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת.
We rise for the Amidah on page 48.
Adonai Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei bneihem, Lema'an Shemo v'Ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh kol atarav lehoshia, Morid atah, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech naflim v'rafeh cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato, Lishnei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, U'midol melech, Melech memit u'mechayeh, U'matzmeach Yeshua, B'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated. We continue together at the bottom of page 61. God breathed into us a living soul, the gifts of respiration, inspiration, aspiration. May we sanctify this day by breathing deeply, attentive to all gifts. We taste the sweetness of the world that could be. Page 63. Bring joy to my life of service when I turn to you for purpose and hope. God, teach me your path. Your truth will guide my steps. Point my heart toward awe. Your name, the center of my devotion. Page 69 at the bottom, we join together. For all these gifts, for the gifts I received today, air in my lungs, pulse in my veins, my restless mind alive and curious, awakening suddenly to beauty, for love and the memory of love, forgiveness when I didn't deserve it, another chance at life. Let my soul give thanks to you. Let me not forget your kindness. We join together in our prayer for peace on page 70. Peace, profound and lasting, all-embracing. Peace, let this be your gift to Israel, your people. In your goodness, author of peace, bless us and all people, every season, every hour, with the peace that is yours to give. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. You, Adonai, are the blessed one who blesses us with peace. We take a moment now to think of those who face the future not fully whole, those who are in need of healing of mind, of body, and of spirit. We think of them, think of those who are in our order of service, and think of those who are in our hearts. We join together singing Misha Berach, our prayer for healing. Page 77.
Misha Berach, Avotenu, Kor HaBracha, Le'imotenu. May the source of strength will bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us a moment for your own silent prayer, there are some meditations on the previous page, on page 75 and 73, if you care to look at those, or of course follow the promptings of your own heart.
Reb Chaim of Sants used to tell this parable before the High Holy Days. There was once a poor countrywoman who had many children. They were always begging for food, but she had none to give them. One day, she found an egg. She called her children and said, "Children, children, we've nothing to worry about anymore. I found an egg. And being a provident woman, I'll not eat the egg, but shall ask my neighbor for permission to set it under her setting hen until a chick is hatched. For I am a provident woman. And will not eat the chick, but will set her on eggs, and the eggs will hatch into chickens. And the chickens in their turn will hatch many eggs, and will have many chickens and many eggs. But I'm a provident woman, I am. I'll not eat the chickens and not eat the eggs, but shall sell them and buy me a heifer. And I'll not eat the heifer, but shall raise it to a cow, and not eat the cow until it calves. For I'm a provident woman. And I'll sell the cows and the calves and buy a field, and we'll have fields and cows and calves, and we won't need anything anymore." The countrywoman was speaking in this fashion and playing with the egg when it fell out of her hands and broke. Said our master, "That is how we are. When the holy days arrive, every person resolves to do teshuvah, thinking in his heart, I'll do this and I'll do that. But the days slip by in mere deliberation, and thought doesn't lead to action. And what is worse, the person who made the resolution may fall even lower. Therefore, every person ought to exercise great caution so as not to fall even lower, God forbid." During this month of Elul, the month leading up to the High Holy Days, where we are able to take significant time to think about our actions, seek forgiveness, and make resolutions for the future, we think of Reb Chaim's story, and maybe, begrudgingly, realize how realistic it is for ourselves. Every year for the secular New Year, people share their New Year's resolutions on social media, join gyms as fast as they can, and attempt a new skill. Most of the time, it doesn't stick. I'm also very guilty of this. We set these resolutions with the best of intentions, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. So what if we just give that idea up? Why keep making resolutions that we know we won't stick with? This doesn't mean forget about bettering ourselves or striving to see inside and what needs to be changed. Instead, this is the whole idea of the month of Elul. Not to set some future ideal, but to check where we are right now and look seriously at ourselves, inside and out, individually and communally. It is no surprise then that this Torah portion of Shoftim comes during Elul, as it speaks to behavior of those around us, specifically our leaders. In this Torah portion, Moses explains how we need to appoint judges who will be fair and legislation that will be for the people who are pursuing justice. Then there are warnings against idolatry, discussions of cities of refuge for those who unintentionally kill someone, and then those laws that are supposed to be followed during war and during times of peace. During the first section, referring to legislation and judges, many things are pointed out about the kind of leaders we seek to have as a community. At the same time, we are told exactly how to function as a community. In Deuteronomy 17:16, it says, "You must not go back that way again," in reference to the Israelites not returning to Egypt as God released them from there. To take it in a much less physical way, I see this as reminding us that we can't keep going back to who we were before, but that we must grow, evolve, adapt, and improve. Dr. Carol Oakes, a former HUC JIR Director of Graduate Studies and Adjunct Professor of Jewish Religious Thought, explains that the freedom we have been granted by God from Egypt is not just freedom from slavery and did not just start in Egypt. Freedom did not begin for us with the Exodus, but with accepting responsibilities for our actions in Eden. Likewise, freedom did not begin and end with the crossing of the Sea of the Reeds, or Red Sea. The flight from Egypt led to our liberation from the oppression of Pharaoh, but our people had already internalized the message that they were property. It took an entire generation of living in the wilderness, far from labels given by other people, to begin shredding the message of servitude and worthlessness, and to recognize that we really are created B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. At this point in the narrative, where the Israelites faced the death of their leader and the trial of battle, how tempting it would have been to fall back into helplessness, to go back that way again. So too, how easy would it be for us to say, we're going to change something about our lives, and then not follow through? How tempting would it be to give up and say, I never follow through, so forget it. How distracting it is to go through all of our faults and not see the beauty that we hold inside and outside. We must seize the opportunity to be engaged in Elul's intention of thoughtful reflection, not to beat ourselves up or to make promises that won't be kept, but to strengthen ourselves and the world around us. We use our past, the positives and the negatives, to give us a foundation for which to build upon. Torah and tradition do the same for us as a Jewish people, especially as Reformed Jews, a foundation of text and laws with which to explore, dissect, and reframe to enhance our Jewish practice and life. May we continue to wrestle with texts and traditions to better our connection to God, Jews, and Judaism. May we continue to enrich our own lives, not with empty, unfulfilled resolutions, but with hearty exploration and difficult introspection. May we take not just the Shabbat of Torah portion Shoftim, not just this month of Elul, not just this high holy day season, to engage in this complex cheshbon hanefesh, a checking of our inner selves, but let us work constantly to improve ourselves and thus the world around us. Shabbat Shalom. For this High Holy Day season, we join together in a more traditional Aleinu, which can be found on page 78, and I invite you to rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשני כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וקור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים.
You may be seated. As we prepare for Mourner's Kaddish, we note with sadness the death of Danielle Christine Howard, sister of Desiree and Wesley Purvis, aunt of Isabella Quell, Adeline Purvis, and Atticus Purvis. I give you a meditation, a mourner's meditation, which cannot be found in your book. Let it not be said, death will come, its hand will not be stayed even an instant, nor can we enter into judgment with it. Our question, why, will go unanswered, but this does not mean that we are helpless in the face of death. We can and we do rob death of ultimate victory by living life as long as it is ours to live. To ask of death that it never come is futile, but it is not futility to pray that when death comes for us, it may take us from a world one corner of which is a little better because we were there. When we are dead and people weep for us and grieve, let it be because we touched their lives with beauty and simplicity. Let it not be said that life was good to us, but rather that we were good to life. Our thoughts turn now to those in our community who have died at this time in years past. As we mark their yard sites, we remember them. Mark Abelow, Louis Arbetter, Helen Badish, Herman Badish, Esther Baloff, Louise Bankler, Gerald Barnholtz, Harold Burns, Julius Braveman, Ruth Brown, Toba Buxbaum, Debbie Coben, Lillian Collins, Eva Cooper, Alex Crane, Melissa DePere, Milton Drieben, Charles Drillick, Sarah Dubinsky, Julianne Edison, Elma B. Falkstein, Patricia Fisher, Harry Aaron Fish, Claire Frontman, Rochelle Daisy Gez, Sari Gold, Miriam Goldberg, Kava Gurovich, Herbert Halstead Sr., Jean Harris, Henry Hankin, Gloria Herman, Shlomo Elan, Lynn Judge, Alan Richard Kahn, Mark Carpel, Barbara Katz, Alex Queller, Abraham Lerner, Ann V. Lests, Leah Helig Levine, Svetlana Lubashevskaya, Richard S. Madden, Wanda Mann, William Maurer, Harry H. May, Ernest T. McCown, Hattie Kempner Oppenheimer, Irma Oppenheim, Norma Katz Oppenheimer, Orhan Ozma, Paula Palmer, Irene Peltrowitz, Camilla K. Poland, Mel Pomerantz, Betty Lou Rice, Edith Reamer, Dr. Richard Rodkin, Roberto A. Rodriguez, Rosalie Pasternak Rosenblum, Sam Saknowitz, J. Marvin Salzman, Ruth Susser Shapira, Ethel Charlack, Morris Schoenbaum, Marvin Shelton, Bobby Unger, Sister Mary Walden, Stanley Weiss, Joseph M. Westheimer Sr., Harold Gardner Wolf, Raymond Wolf, and Edmund J. Wolf. We also think of those who've died this past month, whose families are in a mourning period of Shloshim. We remember Elaine Gale, Alec Fisher, Susan Setters Jacobson, Lawrence Rosenberg, and Anne Callahan Dick. We also think of 3 who've died this past week, whose families are in a mourning period of Shiva. We remember Robert Bob Burns, husband of Irene Burns, father of Jeffrey Jacob and Hope Burns, and Jennifer and Dennis Rawlings, grandfather of Mason, Madeline, Krisney, and Joseph. Sharon Forspan, wife of Morty Forspan, mother of Jake and Carrie Forspan and Dylan Forspan, stepmother of Corey and Brian Spitznagel, and Daryl and Samantha Forspan. Myrna Klein, mother of Andrew and Lisa Klein, Allison Klein, Dan Klein, and Rabbi Jamie Klein and Alex Aklepi, sister of Lita Milan DeTrullo, grandmother of Matthew and Frances Klein, Eliana Aklepi, Molly Aklepi, Jasper Klein, and Gabriella Aklepi, great-grandmother of Juliana Klein. With all of these names, we add those which are in our hearts each and every day as we join together for the words of Kaddish Yatom on page 86. Please rise. Yitzkadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kariv imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam umei almaya, yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitzpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace bestow peace on all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved. Together we say, Amen.
I would like to thank our wonderful musicians, Brandon Henson, Aaron McAdams, Sar Gutierrez, and Rami Alfara. And we're so lucky that they are here to make music with us and enhance our worship. Also, I want to, since we've been talking about Elul a lot, I just want to remind you, if you haven't signed up to receive emails each day of Elul, you still can. They're also, I believe, posted on our Facebook page every day. And
on our website.
So you don't actually have to sign up. You could just go to the Facebook page, but I would forget if that was me. So just want to remind you about that. Our closing song is We Return. I apologize for not putting the words out, but it's an echo song, the chorus, and they will be there next week, I promise. During the month of Elul, we are looking to return to our best self. So this is sort of a song reminding us of that. We're returning to all the best things about us, about love, about life, and so think about what or who is your best self. We return, we return, we return, return again. We return, we return,
rejoice in the rest of Shabbat, please return your Mishkan Halev, your gold prayer books, to the cart. Shabbat Shalom.